Jesse, I'm a physical therapist. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about exercises to help with frozen shoulder. I made a previous video about this, about how I diagnose it and what to do while I'm in treatment, but that's more so hands-on while the patient is on the table. This video is more so about exercises for you to be able to do this at home to reinforce and carry on the treatment forward. The thing that you really have to pay attention to when you have frozen shoulder, especially when you're doing these exercises to help rehab it, is pain and stiffness. So you can only stretch to the pain tolerance that your shoulder allows you to. So basically you're stretching to whatever your pain tolerance is. The less pain you have, the better it is. You're able to stretch more, you're able to push yourself a little bit harder to improve more range. However, if you have more pain, you don't really want to be overstretching because you're going to irritate the tissue and then you're going to go backwards. So all these exercises that I'm going to show you, just kind of like all my other videos, the guidelines are the same. You're stretching to whatever your pain tolerance is. This is not a situation where more is better. More is not better if you're having more pain. So the first exercise is called pendulums. This is a very gentle exercise to just facilitate some slow movement or more so passive movement in the shoulder with the use of your body. So I usually teach it anterior posterior and medial lateral, meaning front and back and then sideways, which is medial lateral. So front and back looks like this. You kind of stabilize yourself with another table, and I want you to rock back and forth. So what you're really doing here, it's a lot of more so like a passive motion, meaning you're not really using the shoulder a whole lot, meaning you're not doing this. So it's not active, you're not engaging your delt, your anterior delt or your posterior delt to be able to move that shoulder forward and backward. You're keeping the shoulder as relaxed as possible, and then you're using the body, more so your trunk and your hip, to really throw that arm forward and then let it just come back. So just like a pendulum. So you're using your body to move forward and back. And then that's anterior posterior, and I usually have people do 10 to 20 times, but it's given their pain tolerance. So if they're in a lot of pain and they can't tolerate this a whole lot, 10 is really what I'm looking for. Where at the end of the day, I'm really just looking for movements. Medial lateral, we're just doing this. You're shifting your body back and forth. Same thing as anterior posterior when you're doing this. And we're not really doing a whole lot of arm movement. We're more so doing body movement to help with the shoulder joint. So this will actually help facilitate some passive motion to the shoulder joint in a distracted position. So it's stretching and you're moving it at the same time. All right, so the next exercise is table slides. So you just need a surface like this. I'm just using my own treatment table. I'm in a half kneeling position, but you can do it while you're sitting. And what you're essentially doing here is, the principle is the same as the previous one, where you just use your body to slide your arm forward. So you're leaning forward, and because you're leaning forward, your shoulder's going forward. So you're essentially stretching this arm into overhead flexion. It's just relative. You're just moving your body in relationship to your shoulder. Get it to the point where you feel either pain or stiffness, or you're just feeling a stretch. It's got to be tolerable, and you're holding that for about 10 seconds, and then you're standing back up. And then you repeat. Lean that forward, get that arm forward, hold it for about 10 seconds, as far as you can go, or as far as the pain allows you to go, and then bring it back. So I usually have people do this 10 times. The other direction I like to have my clients go into is out to the side, or what we call abduction. So a lot of the times with shoulder pathology, people have a hard time reaching out to the side, and one of the reasons is it's actually the position where it puts the rotator cuff it engages the rotator cuff the most. So when you're doing this, instead of reaching out forward, like how I showed you at first, into flexion, you want to reach out to the side. So you're doing the same thing, you're leaning your body into it, getting it as far as you can go. Hold it there for about 10 seconds, or if whatever your pain allows you to, and then you sit back up. And then you do the same thing. Reach out as far as you can, reaching your shoulder out to the side, and then stand back up. You know, same thing, 10 of them with a 10-second hold or whatever your pain allows. The goal here is really just to move the shoulder in the position where the natural movement of the joint allows, and you're just doing that to your tolerance. That's the basic principle of treating frozen shoulder. So with frozen shoulder, one of the hallmark signs of frozen shoulder is significantly limited external rotation of the shoulder. What's external rotation? It's when you bring the arm out this way. Or when your humerus, when your arm bone has to rotate out, which then goes out this way. That's the same thing as this motion. You need external rotation for a lot of things throughout the day. To be able to scratch the back of your head, to be able to reach down the back of your shirt, to reach back in the car seat. If you're in the driver's seat, you want to reach back into the back seat. You need external rotation to do that. So just throughout life, you're going to need it. There's also only 2 muscles that does external rotation, and they're part of your rotator cuff. So in order to work on this, and usually when I have people do this in the clinic, it's usually painful. Very likely it's going to be painful, and that's because of the inflammatory cascade that's happened inside, the physiological changes that's occurred in the shoulder itself, which is limiting the capsule from stretching out into external rotation, and that's why it's so painful. So that's even more important for you to take note of your pain level, and you don't really want to stretch too far with this one. So usually with this, I just take a stick. This is a handle from a mop. That's just what I have right now. So I usually have people do this laying down, out to the side. So I have them bring it out to about 45 degrees or somewhere in the middle. So this is 0 degrees here. This is 90 here from this angle. And then here is about 45 degrees. And you just take a stick and you just rest with the left arm, and you have the right arm do most of the work, pushing the arm into external rotation. This is usually pretty provocative for my clients. And I only have them hold it as long as they can. Usually it's about 10 seconds or so. So again, pushing it out as far as you can. Like if you work on it and it's here, that's as far as you can go, that's fine. 10 seconds is where that starts for you. If you're here, that's fine, hold it there. Again, it's as far as you can go or as far as the shoulder allows you to go, given your pain tolerance. So again, to repeat, bringing it out with the stick. You're using this arm to push, and then the left is just staying as relaxed as possible. You feel a little bit of a stretch in the shoulder. If you're in the acute phases of frozen shoulder, this will be more painful than not, versus just feeling like a stretch. If you're in the later stages of frozen shoulder, this is going to feel more of a stretch. It's going to feel more stiff than painful. That's just the progression of the disease. So the last stretch is a cross-body stretch. This is where you just bring the arm across the body and you hold it for about 30 seconds. I have my clients do this about 3 times. If you're in the early stages of frozen shoulder, in the stage where it's more so painful than feeling stiff, or painful and stiff, you're not going to be able to do this one for a very long time. So if that's the case for you, then you want to do this for 10 seconds and then perform it 10 times. You're just trying to get it to move up to your tolerance. If you're in the later stages of it, you want to hold it for as long as you can. So probably 30 seconds, pushing to your pain tolerance, making sure you're not pushing past your pain tolerance and irritating the tissue. That's the biggest thing with these stretches. So your goal with this stretch is to be able to get your arm all the way across. That's what you really want, because that actually creates a stretch in the back of the shoulder of these muscles and creating a separation between your scapula and your arm bone, which is your humerus. So you want to stretch out those muscles that are connected in between there. If you are doing these exercises throughout your day at home, you want to actually use a little bit of heat, probably about 5 to 10 minutes. So if you're really stiff and you're holding it tight and you're guarding a lot because it's very painful, do some heat to kind of help with, especially if heat is something that you like. If heat is something that you like and make you comfortable, you want to get the shoulder comfortable, almost like priming it before you do the exercises, which then allows you to get more bang for your buck when you're doing the exercises, which then allows you to get more range of motion, more mobility, and then hopefully that will carry over as you keep doing the exercises. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, please leave them in the comment section below. Please like or subscribe if you found this to be helpful, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you.